Hello, my name is Jeremy, and I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to build a simple game in Scratch. Before we get started, we need to understand the basic building blocks of Scratch. First, we have the event blocks in yellow. These are how we initiate actions. The blue blocks are motion blocks. They'll dictate where things go. Purple blocks are called look blocks, and they modify the appearance and effects on screen. Magenta blocks control sound. The orange blocks are called control blocks, and they automate processes, and they can be modified by the tealish diamond-ended blocks called sensing blocks. These are all relatively simple, but stacking together, you can change their simple commands into something much more complex, such as this. So we start with the default sprite, Scratch. First things first, we set up how Scratch starts the game. The event block with the green flag starts up immediately on load in, or when you press the green flag. So we set a motion block so that when you press the flag or start the game, Scratch moves to our starting point here in the corner. You can also set looks, sound, or what else that you need to reset immediately. Next, we want him to walk, so we're going to start an event string for when the right arrow key is pressed. Adding a motion block labeled move X steps makes Scratch move forward that many units on press. Next, we want to animate his walk so he's not just sliding. Using looks blocks to switch costumes can achieve this animated look. I also duplicated and flipped the costumes for a backward walk animation, but if you prefer the moonwalk, you can always leave that in. Now that he can walk, we want to let Scratch jump. We add another event block, this time for the up arrow, which starts a motion block that changes the y-axis of the sprite, making it go up. And what goes up must come down. So after a control block to add a delay, we add another motion block with a negative number to move back toward the ground. This all plays through at once, so he jumps, hesitates, and then falls back to the ground. But now let's get more complex. Moving left or right or jumping is one thing, but using the control block with an if command will let us move left or right while jumping. Placing a sensing diamond in the if command lets us set it so that if the right arrow is pressed while jump is animating, the string inside the fork of the block will execute. So we can move his walk string down into this fork, letting him move while in the air. Now, as you can see, we've added a trampoline for Scratch to interact with. To help Scratch interact with the trampoline, we'll be using one of the forked if control blocks and a diamond sensing block. The diamond sensing block we'll be using is the one labeled touching with a drop-down menu under it. We select the trampoline in the drop-down menu, and now whatever is within the forked execute if Scratch touches the trampoline while in a jump, because we'll be adding this control block to the jump event block. Next, we want to see what motion we want. So I make a stack of y-axis moves with delays and kind of stack them up so that it gets a floating look that I was looking for. But this block string is a little long, so instead we're going to use a repeat control block, which is another one of the forked blocks, and it's going to accomplish the same thing. And instead of being that long string, it's just going to repeat whatever string is inside the fork X number of times, and this how you have it set to 15. It's doing the same thing, and of course we have to reverse it in order to get them to come back down. So right here is actually an interesting section of it. I had originally placed the default gravity in the else section, so if then else. So the if section of the control fork is if touching a trampoline, then Scratch will bounce. He'll do the bounce animation we just made. However, if he didn't touch that, he would just fall back to the ground like normal via the gravity section. However, he wasn't interacting with the trampoline the way I wanted, so instead I rebuilt his base gravity to kind of float down, and it would check every 0.1 seconds to see if he touched the trampoline, and if he did touch the trampoline, he would end up doing the bounce animation. This way it could loop the trampoline jump. This ended up making me get rid of the else section of the fork. Finally, we have one last interactable. I wanted to make just a piece of trash to make this game about cleaning up your environment. I couldn't find that, so instead I went with this little takeout box. I set it up. I immediately begin the event block starter with the green flag to make sure it starts in the correct spot. Then I also add some other interactions. I use the look blocks to create thinking tags in order to interact with my player to tell them how to go about playing the game. I also set it to where once you press a button while Scratch is touching the takeout box, it is moved up to an inventory area and says congratulations as a reward for beating the game. And finally, here is the final product. I hope this tutorial has given you some confidence in how to build a game of your own in Scratch. Thank you for watching.